Why do you think most men are currently afraid of a marriage?
50-50 divorces aren't fair. Stay-at-home moms should be given 100% of everything in divorce and should be awarded alimony for life.
Why do so many women leave their husbands simply because they are unhappy or bored?
Those types of women leave because they wanted the wedding, but not the marriage.
Files 70% of all divorces in the U.S., men or women?
Women.
Marriage rates in the United States from 1990 to 2020.
But it wasn't that I had left my marriage. It wasn't that I had left my marriage for another man. It's that I...
No, madam, you definitely left your husband for another man. Now guilt is killing you. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
Being single in West Hollywood is like going to the grocery store and seeing this really hot guy and you're like, oh my god, this might be it. This actually might be it. And then this other really hot guy comes up behind him and is like, babe, have you gotten the eggs yet? Like, why I think any man within a 5-mile radius of this place would want anything to do with a little blonde girl, I have absolutely no idea.
80% of divorces are filed by women. And why is that? So the comment that I got was, why do so many women leave their husbands simply because they are unhappy or bored? Why is it that men have the endurance of till death do us part, and yet many women have the endurance limited to their emotions like boredom and unhappiness? And I think this is a great question. And I see videos pop up all the time in this space about women leaving simply because they're unhappy. And why is that? And what's the solution to that? So what I had to see for myself as a woman, why we have such a limited endurance in marriage and we are so quick to leave and so quick to run, is because we have no concept when we get married that we are actually making a commitment to another person.
Say it louder for the women in the back row. Can't make a broken person feel happy if they haven't put their own pieces of the fragments together themselves. I divorced mine after 16 years. Never been better. Will never have another relationship again. I was used twice as convenience. My fault though, I allowed it to happen. First and foremost, women tend to trust their emotions above all else, even more than facts at times. Whenever a woman feels unhappy or bored in a marriage, she's more likely to leave because her emotions drive her decisions. In contrast, men are generally more inclined to stay committed and try to fix the issues within the relationship. The root of the problem is that women, in many cases, lack the same level of commitment when it comes to marriage. The challenge is that modern society often validates this emotional-driven behavior, encouraging women to do what makes them happy, even if it means walking away from a marriage without trying to work through the problems. On the other hand, men are frequently expected to stay loyal, even when they feel neglected or unappreciated. The bottom line is, women are more loyal to their feelings and emotions more than anything.
The dating culture today is a crash course in divorce. We've embedded in people's minds and souls how easy it is to walk away from something and someone. Like, I need people to take a moment to understand what the dating culture today has done. It has made it so easy for you to drop an entire soul that you once claimed to love, to cherish, and promised to stay with no matter what. Now, in some cases, if there was an extreme reason, or there is a clear reason that no, separate, absolutely, I understand. But this ability to just drop a soul like it means nothing, do people genuinely understand just how evil that is?
The problem is social media and the delusion many women have of having too many options when it comes to dating. Relationships aren't the same anymore. People move on way too quickly whenever there are issues. Another issue is hookup culture, which encourages short-term flings instead of meaningful relationships. This has made it even harder for people to form deep, lasting connections, as casual encounters are now seen as the norm. Instead of focusing on commitment, many are more interested in instant gratification, further weakening the foundation of modern relationships. It's chaos out there.
files 70% of all divorces in the US. Men or women?
Women.
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 Why do you say women?
Because we hate men.
Because the women are trying to take their money.
Maybe the men cheat more.
It's always over money.
No offense to men.
Men, they don't have like the guts to file for a divorce.
Why women?
They're never happy.
Women replace, while men repair. Men don't file more because they invested so much and have everything to lose, whereas women just take. Give a woman everything in the world as a man, and she'll still find something wrong. That's how it's been and will be, so don't waste your time. Kinda funny the women automatically go, men, but their reason is always nothing.
If 50% of marriages end in divorce, do you still think marriage is important? There's a saying that remarriage is proof that people are more optimistic than intelligent. It shows that we really are optimistic at heart, that we want to make connections, that we believe those connections, those heart connections are possible, that we were built for relationships. So the fact that 50% of marriages fail doesn't mean that marriage is unimportant. What it means is we need to focus a bit more on how important it is on the way in.
I don't think marriage has to be that hard. I think that we make it hard. Husbands don't need a whole lot. Love making, some respect and appreciation. Wives need some emotional intimacy and some romance. We get married so that we can enjoy that person we fell madly in love with for our whole life and eternity. So, what if it's just as simple as don't be selfish, flirt with each other, date each other, have fun together, put your spouse before technology. Do little simple things that you did to show your spouse that you love them, like you did when you were dating. And when conflict arises, listen to each other. Be kind and respectful. These are all things that you did when you dated, right? So what do you think makes marriage so complicated? Let's hear it.
It's complicated because men often do everything they're supposed to, being there for their wives emotionally, putting them first, and showing commitment. But for some reason, it never seems to be enough. One of the biggest frustrations in marriage is the shift that happens after the man commits. In the beginning, many women lure men in by being fun, carefree, and non-controlling, often using sex and their charm to build the attraction. But once that man settles down and commits, all of those things seem to disappear. The carefree, exciting dynamic fades, and suddenly the relationship becomes about control, expectations, and emotional demands. The man feels like he's being baited and switched. What he signed up for in the beginning no longer exists. This creates a sense of betrayal, as he's still holding up his end of the deal, but now feels he's constantly trying to please someone who no longer brings the same energy, affection, or fun to the relationship.
70% of divorces are filed by women, just over 70. And one of the number one reasons they give is financial hardship.
Because that's hard. That's
really hard.
A ton of stress.
Because women want security, and that's one of the number one needs of women, especially stay-at-home moms. Stability, and security.
Safety.
Yeah. Safety.
And don't get me wrong, that is my number one too. But
yeah, but it also takes a different, confident person who has vision and love for the other person to empower them and say, hey, if we fall on hard times, I got your back.
I agree. That's a huge issue in marriages. Many women seem to be fully committed during the good times, enjoying the benefits of the relationship when everything is going well. But as soon as financial issues arise, their attitude starts to change. Instead of standing by their husbands and working together through the tough times, some women begin to pull back emotionally and even physically. Their support fades, and they may become more distant or critical. This is where the real test of commitment comes in. Unfortunately, when money problems hit, instead of showing resilience and loyalty, some women choose to file for divorce. It's as if their commitment was conditional on the financial stability of the marriage. Men, on the other hand, are often expected to weather the storm and continue to provide no matter what. Where's the benefit?
This is for all my single people, so if you are not single, just keep scrolling. Can someone tell me why in like modern dating or dating right now, we're talking on apps, talking on Instagram, you're sliding in, whatever, but no plans are being made. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not looking for a pen pal. I'm looking for a husband. So what's going on?
What's going on is that people forget the phone works both ways. It shouldn't always be on the man to make the plans, initiate conversations, or show interest. If a woman is truly interested, she should also be putting in the effort, calling, texting, and making plans. Relationships are supposed to be a two-way street, not one person doing all the heavy lifting while the other just sits back and waits. When a woman doesn't show interest or take the initiative, it sends the message that she's not as invested in the relationship. At that point, it's just best to walk away. These are the types of women that wants to chase like they're playing tag. No man has time for that.
Is it okay for women to always say that they sacrifice their career for their family, even though men do the exact same thing? Let me explain. So many men will work 12 to 14 hours a day. They'll miss holidays. They'll miss birthdays. They'll come home, only eat dinner, go straight to bed, and do it all over again. Men sacrifice a lot of job opportunities to keep the wife happy and keep the financial situation afloat. And the crazy part about it is the amount of women that don't appreciate a man's sacrifice or don't give a shit about what the men sacrifice, including the milestones of their own children. It's like men aren't allowed to have feelings about their own children. So many men sacrifice their mental health. They'll come home and not say a goddamn word because they know that they're going to get bitched at or they're not going to be taken care of in the way that they deserve. Men sacrifice also the best years of their lives to provide for their families, and while doing so, they get ridiculed for not doing it good enough or doing it for too long. When you say to a woman, okay, well, let him stay at home with the kids, or let him work a part-time job, or let him get the job that pays less, 9 times out of 10, the women are like, absolutely not. And I'll just never understand how you think that you can have a successful relationship or a successful marriage and not understand the sacrifices of your husband that he's doing for you to provide for you. Well, you get to stay home with the children, which is the greatest gift that you can possibly ever have, is to watch your children grow up and be an active role in their upbringing. But some of you have been so brainwashed into thinking your stupid 9 to 5 is better than raising children that you've actually ruined the entire family dynamic for basically a paycheck. Okay, bye.
I sacrificed my body, my mental health, and my family for my family. I tore us apart trying to hold us together. And we catch hell because we don't spend enough time with the family. College tuition doesn't pay for itself. Brought that up to my ex a few times. You can work in the oil field, I'll stay home. Turned into another different fight somehow. Our sacrifice is a must, while her sacrifice needs appreciation. What a great time to live. That right there is a sacrifice that doesn't get talked about enough. The lengths men go to for their families, often sacrificing themselves in the process. When a man works longer hours or takes on extra responsibility to provide, it's not because he wants to miss time with his kids or wife. It's because he feels a duty to ensure his family's financial stability. Yet, this sacrifice often goes unappreciated or misunderstood. A man can't be everywhere at once. If he's out there grinding to support his family, of course, there will be times he can't be as present at home. It's not a lack of love or commitment. It's a reality that comes with the weight of responsibility. Unfortunately, this sacrifice often gets overlooked, and men are criticized for not spending enough time with their families, when in fact, they're making the very sacrifices necessary to keep that family together and secure. What's frustrating is that the emotional and physical toll men endure for the sake of their family isn't acknowledged enough. They're expected to be providers, but at the same time, they're judged when they miss out on family moments. The truth is, there's only so much a man can do.
Get into divorce, are the courts biased against men going through the divorce process? Of course, every situation is different, and there are so many factors unique to every case, ranging from where the case is located, who the people are involved. And when you say courts, I mean the courts are the judges and the laws. And speaking to the judges, of course, judges are human beings and they all have their own personal, subjective opinions, experiences, beliefs, etc. But as a general rule of thumb, the courts are designed to give both sides an equal experience and process through the courts. Utah recently amended the code to even contemplate 50-50 custody arrangement and other options that mean both parents are meaningfully sharing the kids. And as far as the division of the marital assets and alimony, it's a court of equity and all of the laws that govern that, and the courts attempt to apply them in a way that puts both parties on equal footing as they move forward and beyond divorce. So, no, the courts at the end of the day and the laws behind them are an attempt to give both sides an equal experience. And
so he came home and he was like, babe, I lost my job. I'm like, all right, cool. So a month later, like the bills, it was time for the bills or whatever, and I'm like, the bills due, babe, or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm not working. And I'm just, in a month, like, it's all kind of hustles. You could have been doing something or whatever. So I told him, I said, look, if I pay these bills, are you going to pay me the money back? This man had the nerve to tell me, why should I pay my wife back for paying our bills? I told this man from day one, my money is my money and his money is our money. Why should I spend my money paying the bills? Like, no, he should have paid me back. So that's when I decided, like, I can't be with this man no more. So I had text his homeboy. Like, we all cool. I text his homeboy or whatever. We went together. I met up with him. And we was chilling, we was drinking or whatever. And I started venting. I started getting emotional. One thing led to the next. I did not purposely mean to do what I did with his friend. But things happen. Like, y'all understand what I'm going through. So, his friend ended up giving me some money or whatever. And he was like, babe, look, don't worry about it. Handle whatever you got to handle. Like, his friend was every single thing I desire in a man. Like, everything I desire in a man. And, ain't nobody trying to hear my side. Ain't nobody trying to hear.
This woman never had any real commitment to the man from the start. Her true colors showed the moment he hit some financial trouble and couldn't pay the bills. And guess what? She chose herself. She chose her happiness and comfort over the marriage, abandoning the partnership as soon as things got tough. Sadly, this isn't even surprising anymore because it's become a common pattern among selfish women who only see themselves and their needs. When things are going smoothly, they're happy to be there, reaping the benefits. But when life throws a challenge, instead of sticking by their partner and working together to overcome it, they opt out. Their loyalty was only surface level, and they were never truly invested in the long haul. It's as if the moment their comfort is threatened, they hit the exit button, proving that they were never really in it for the partnership. What's worse is that this selfish behavior is often normalized or excused amongst these types of women. They justify leaving by claiming they deserve to be happy. It's disgusting,